Excuse me, Your Honor, but we have no idea what the we're doing.
I don't know what the hell Xbox is smoking. Phil Spencer is blinded by I don't even know what. The guy is so desperate for a damn win for Xbox that he's willing to do anything to get them up ahead. And it's crazy because as we're seeing from this Xbox versus the FTC case of Xbox trying to acquire Activision and take over the whole entire gaming landscape, we're really starting to figure out that Xbox and Microsoft literally have no single clue at how to be a successful game company. All they know how to do is buy companies, buy other studios, buy other game developers, and basically force them to put out whatever quality type of games that they can and add them to Game Pass to have some sort of library to defend themselves against Sony. And it's nuts because it's like, why can't you just develop a good game? Why can't you just develop studios that know what they're doing and know how to actively continue to make good games that come out on time and actually impress everybody by coming out and being good? I just don't get it. Like, you think after being in the industry for like 20 years of making games and having Halo come out, having Gears of War come out, having these games that are actually good, you'd be able to make games that are actually good. And instead, it's like every single game either gets delayed or just ends up being so mid, and it's like, why? And now we're finding out that it's because Xbox literally doesn't know how. All they do is know how to pump money into things. And it's very clear now that money is not the answer to making a good game. It doesn't matter if you have the highest budget. It doesn't matter if you have 1,000 people working on your game. What matters is that you have a good story, good characters, good gameplay, a loop that makes sense and that people enjoy playing. We're seeing that right now, all that Xbox cares about literally is making sure that PlayStation doesn't have exclusives. Like, they just want to make sure that that PlayStation doesn't have the upper hand. They don't want PlayStation to be the #1 choice for gamers. They don't want Nintendo to be the #2 choice for gamers. They want to be the #1 or the #2, not the far behind #3. I mean, right now it's like Xbox is so far behind of the competition that if Ubisoft announced a console, people would buy that instead of whatever Xbox is selling. They're desperate. They're smoking crack. What are they smoking? We're not sure, but it seems like Xbox is high on their own supply, and by supply, I mean they're high on their own cash. Because all they care about is cash. Making the most amount of cash, spending the most amount of cash, and making sure that all their cash comes to them and doesn't go to PlayStation. And that's what the whole point of this is all about. They want to make sure that your #1 choice for playing games is on Xbox. Or on PC, realistically. Anything other than PlayStation. That's their main goal. And from looking at the details that have come out of this case, it's very clear that basically all of this started when Sony started to beat them down so badly during the PS4 era that they had to do whatever they can to get ahead. And whatever they could involves spending as much money as humanly possible. The second PlayStation started to acquire third-party exclusives, Microsoft knew they had to step in big time. It's time to open their checkbooks, it's time to write any number that anybody wants and get those deals secured for themselves. You think they're just going to stand by and let Sony take Final Fantasy for who knows how many years? They even got Deathloop for a year, but realistically that game was, man, you know what I mean? It's so who cares that much? But like, the point is, once Starfield got involved, Microsoft was like, there's no way, there's no chance. We're not gonna let this shit slide anymore. We're getting in there, we're doing what we gotta do. And what we gotta do is spend some cold, hard cash. So they spent billions of dollars acquiring ZeniMax and Bethesda and making sure that those games don't end up on PlayStation. Because if that went to PlayStation, if Starfield was a PlayStation exclusive, Xbox would have some serious trouble to deal with. I mean, yeah, they got some good games coming, it looks like. Fable looks cool. Hellblade looks cool. Perfect Dark will probably be cool whenever it comes out, but who the hell knows at this point? I'm sure Gears 6 is going to be awesome. Like, there's games that are in development, they just seem like they're all really far away other than Forza, but really, who gives? How many times are you going to re-release a racing game and have people be the system seller? It's just not going to work. You got to do something else. So what they did was do something else, and they bought Bethesda, and they made sure that they spent billions of dollars on it, so that if you want to play Starfield, you have to play it on Xbox. Or, on PC. Either way is better than PlayStation in their eyes. Even though, especially, they talk about this whole thing about how they want games to be everywhere, they want everybody to have a choice to play wherever they want the games on everything, they want games to be an open concept platform for everybody to play. Let's just play games and spend money on games. That's what matters. No, what matters is you spend money, you play it on PlayStation. You play it on Xbox. Definitely not PlayStation. They do not want you to play it on PlayStation. I play it on PlayStation, but they do not want you to play it on PlayStation. That is the worst thing to ever happen to them. And now even like PlayStation's basically saying like, hey, listen, if you were going to buy Activision, then we cannot trust you with the PlayStation 6 dev kit because you're just going to get the inside scoop on what we're doing. And that goes against the whole reason of like having this competition in general. So it's going to create a bad situation for PlayStation, but it's also going to create a bad situation for Microsoft where they're just going to be cut off from these studios and they're going to have to figure things out on their own. And the only thing they seem to know how to figure out is spending money. They don't know how to make great games. And it's very obvious because when people think of Xbox, they don't think of the place to play the best games. They think of just the place to get Game Pass and get games for basically for free. Is that the kind of branding that you want, or do you want to be known as the place where all the best games are, like PlayStation? They're in a tricky situation, I think, and it seems like realistically their answer is to just continue spending more money and spend billions of dollars on acquiring Activision and making sure that World of Warcraft comes out for console but only on Xbox, and making sure that all those games only come to Xbox. It's an Xbox Fiesta, and I don't know what Xbox is smoking, but I know that they're not smoking the good stuff that makes them creatively focused and makes them come out with good games that actually matter. It's you know what I mean? What are these people thinking? I like Phil Spencer also. That's the other thing, too. Phil Spencer seems like a good guy. He seems like he knows what he's talking about, and he seems like he honestly wants to give the studios more capabilities than what they actually deserve, and a little bit more freedom than probably they actually deserve, because he wants them to make good games. He's saying, hey, guys, I trust you. I trust you guys to make good games. Please make a good game. And then what they deliver is Redfall. Oh, that's not why we bought you. We didn't buy you for this crap. And yeah, maybe the studio was hoping that we would cancel it. Maybe they thought, you know, this and that and the other. Who knows? But the point is, they released a bad game, and that brings down Xbox's value. That brings down the perception that people have of Xbox as a place to play good games. It's a place to play bargain bin games for free. That's what people think about it. I think Game Pass is a great service. I think there's a lot of great games on it. I think there's a lot of hidden gems, but realistically, a lot of them are older titles that people have probably played before. But if you haven't played them, it's a great place to play them. But every new thing that comes out that's published by Xbox Game Studios, it kind of seems like this is where you play the mid stuff that probably people wouldn't buy that much anyway, because the games aren't actually that good. I mean, the only thing that's recently been good, that's actually come out of bin quality from Xbox Game Publishing, is Hi-Fi Rush, and I don't think that many people played it because they thought it looked cheesy and silly. So it's like, even again, when they do release a game that has some quality to it, people just stay away from it because maybe they have a bad taste in their mouth when it comes to Xbox and they just want to avoid all these things in the first place. And it's like, well, then either way, it's not working for you. So your only hope, realistically, is to buy Activision to get Call of Duty and be able to say, hey, now we're the home of Call of Duty. You got to come here for Call of Duty. This is the Call of Duty Central. And yeah, maybe that's the right move to make. Maybe it is Call of Duty Central. But that's not going to make PlayStation happy, and that's going to cause a lot of problems with that kind of industry and that kind of working in between. Maybe they'll cut off crossplay at that point. They're going to say, hey, if you're not even going to let us have it, we're going to cut it off. Even though now, apparently, to make the deal go forward, they're going to have to offer Call of Duty for 10 years, and they're going to make it a continuous system anyway, so it's like, what's the point of buying it at that point? What is the literal point of buying it if you're just going to keep giving it? Doesn't make any sense. It's like you were buying it to make it exclusive, and now you're buying it to make it full, like, you know, you bought Bethesda to make sure that Starfield wasn't exclusive on Xbox. That was the point of that. So why are you buying Activision? To make sure that Call of Duty stays third party on everything. What are you smoking, Xbox? What's your plan? What are you gonna do with Halo? What are you gonna do with Gears? Make some damn good games, please, man. You did a great Xbox showcase, but we need to see some good games, and we need to play some good games. Give us the good games, Phil. Come on, Phil.
Console is a great market for us. We will continue to invest in the hardware, but our success does not depend only on our own hardware sales.